Hey guys, Zero Adam here, and this is not a review video. This is a video where I will show you how to fix a problem that I had with this DX9 Gabriel. I just got this guy probably about a month and a half ago or so, maybe 2 months, and he had an issue with the floppy thigh joints here, and they would just whenever you raise his leg, it would just come back down. It would not work properly. It would not stay in its position. And I first thought, well, they didn't give me maybe the ratchet joints that go in there. That's what I thought. And I called the place I purchased them from. I purchased them from Shozi, and they were kind enough to send me a replacement thighs that look like this, and I got these about a week ago or so, and turns out it had the ratchets in there, and they were just like these here. I swapped them anyway, and it had the same issue still. And I'm gonna assume it maybe has the only thing to do with my copy, but who knows, maybe there are other copies out there that have the same exact issue where you raise its legs and they just fall right back down. And I've seen reviews on this guy from the first wave that came out, and they look fine, they were ratcheting properly, but this second wave, this second or batch or re-release, at least this one had that issue, and I ended up taking it apart. So I've got all the pieces, and after hours of taking them apart, because he's not really easy to take apart, there's a lot of screws in there just for that cod piece, I finally had to replace with the new ones, and they did the same exact thing. And when I took them apart, I realized the problem was the compression spring in here. This spring, which is the same exact spring here, is not stiff enough. You can compress it and it will stay down. And I thought, well, maybe if I go find another spring that's stiffer, I can replace it with, the original spring. And I did that, and lo and behold, it worked. The thighs now click and they stay in place. The legs will hold. And what did I do? Well, let me take him apart again and show you exactly what I did. So let me show you. Let me remove the pieces of the thigh that are the issue. Now this is the thigh. This is this when you take it apart. These are the replacements I got. This is the issue. You remove the screw. Once the screw comes off, there it is. Two plastic pieces, and they go in like so. When you're moving the thigh, it'll click, 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 but the spring is not using enough tension. It's very flimsy. It goes in and it'll stay in there, and the leg just comes right back down like that. So the problem is this spring. This is the issue. I went to my local Home Depot and I picked up this spring, and it's about roughly the same diameter. It's almost the same diameter, not much of a difference. You can tell that this one's a little bit bigger, still a little bit rounder, and this one may not be, but it still fits. So what I did is I had to bring it down back to size. So I snapped some of this section with wire cutters, And let me show you. Comes apart. Let's take it apart. And it's not a big chunk, it's a very small piece. And the reason I cut it small enough, because this is way stiffer than this. So just this small piece was more than enough for that part, for that spot there. You put the plastic piece back in. Put that piece back in it, and make sure you have it nice and aligned, because this, there are tabs that tab in to this. As you can see, the key slots. This is for the waist, and these are for the legs, for the thighs. And these will key in accordingly to this, as you see. But that is the main issue with my piece. Now, I don't know if everyone else's piece is like this. If you guys got one that has the exact same issue, please comment. That way we can see that it's not just my copy, and that it's possibly many more copies out there, and all because of this flimsy spring that compresses easily, and it stays down. When you compress it and you move the thigh, it basically stays like this, and the thigh comes back down. So that is the solution. Now I'm going to put all this back together. It'll probably take me several hours, and it sucks because it took a long time to take it apart, figure it out, what was going on. You put all these pieces back together, you put the cod piece back, everything fits back up like so, and you start putting it all back together. These pieces have rods that slide in there, and you have to take these off before you can take any of the other stuff off. So you have to push the rod clean off, and it goes straight through this hinge here, and it sticks like so. I think this one, yeah, this one goes on this side. And you push the rod through this hole here. There's the hole right there. The rod goes in through all the way. Then you can put everything together, and that's basically how you take it off. Also, you push this rod through, and the rod comes off, slides in, it slides off. I pushed it through with my mini screwdriver from one side. I shoved it in here, pushed it, and it came out. So if you want to put it back together, you have to do it the same way you took it apart, and it's going to take a long time to do, but at least I fixed that issue. Now the legs and the thighs snap back together. They click, they move around, and I'll show you one last, once I put this back together, at least certain parts of it, I'll show you how now it holds. And if I can find the video clip, I don't think I have it, maybe I won't be able to place it in there, but I sent Josie a video of how floppy the thighs were, and they were just falling. But so let me show you how it actually works when it's fixed. Here we go. Move these up, and it stays. Before, it would just flop down. He had flaccid feet. Now you can hear those healthy joints click. I'll move that aside. Look at that. Clickety joints. And this is what you're going to need. I got this at Home Depot. If you can find any type of compression spring at your local hardware store, that might work. It has to have the same, almost the same diameter as this one. But here it is. Everbuilt compression spring. You will have to cut the spring to size, possibly a little bit smaller than this, I think the spring was like about 5 and change with the pack. And unfortunately these are no good. These springs are no good. So you know, there's that fix for you. If any of you have the same issue I have. And unfortunately I bent my rod putting it into his hip skirts. So he's missing one rod. I believe it's this one. So I'll try to bend it back into shape. And well, and there you have it. DX9 Gabriel fix to the spring. Alright guys, well if you guys do have that issue, comment and let me know that it's not just me. And I have a feeling most of these re-releases probably have that issue. And it sucks to have to take everything apart and put it all back together because it takes quite some time. You're going to need a screwdriver. I had to buy another small screwdriver because I have these screwdrivers, but some of these have like the deep crevices where you have to shove in one of these longer needle screwdrivers. These won't fit. So this is all you're going to need, and some wire cutters. So alright guys, thank you for watching. Goodbye.